Everybody, welcome to the video blog. Wave 3 meteorologist Brian Good here on this Thursday night, filling in for Kevin. I'm going to update you guys on the storm chances coming up for Friday night into Saturday, and then we'll briefly talk about the longer term that it got a lot of your attention on social media today. Certainly, you know me, always stirring the pot up. I really don't mean to do that. I just get excited when I see a change in the weather. I love what I study. All right, here's the latest. As we head into tonight, the radar is quiet, no problems. What we're going to be tracking the next few days is actually way over here into Omaha, Nebraska. It's a cold front now stretched out across areas of the Plain States, heading our way. It's going to take about a good 24 hours, if not longer, to really get that front into the area. And it's some cool air behind it. I mean, this little area of frost alerts already showing up in Montana and Idaho. Don't worry, we're not expecting that here, but it is going to cool down quite a bit, and more importantly, the humidity is going to drop after this front goes by. All right, let's take you through the overnight. First off, fog. There's a chance again, but notice the model, and this model does a great job picking out fog. It's picking it up more across the southern areas of our viewing area and a few areas up 71. Typical spots that typically see fog. We'll likely see that north and south and outside the city limits here, but just a heads up that it is at least possible to be in a patchy form early on Friday. Friday afternoon, we're going to heat things up. This could be our last day in the 90s. I say could because we've hit 90s and as late as October before, 4 times ever in history we've ever reached 90 degrees in October. We've hit it a few times after this date, but in the past several years, usually it's around this week, the first, second week of September, that we stop at the 90s. So it's not unheard of that tomorrow could be the last day, but we'll see how that plays out. It is picking up the idea of a few spotty downpours that could develop. I still see signs of a cap tomorrow afternoon where there's still a decent amount of warming aloft, so a lot of these may have a really tough time getting going. If they can make it through the cap, yeah, we could see some isolated storms. Right now, though, I'm not sold on it, so that's why we're going to really back off on the storm threat for the afternoon, and we'll just see how the weather balloons look tomorrow when they launch into the atmosphere. That'll give us a better idea if there's a strong enough cap. And we'll know during the morning hours tomorrow whether or not this is a likelihood to develop in the afternoon. So for those of you playing your football games for Friday night and you're going to the events, just a heads up, we're watching it for you guys. But right now, we don't have strong enough data to really go crazy with the storm chance for the afternoon on Friday. It looks hot and muggy. That'll change, though, with the front. This is where you get your colder air aloft. There is no cap, obviously, so you get thunderstorms moving in across our northern counties. But look how late it is. It's 11 o'clock at night tomorrow night before that even begins to show up. Now, as that moves through, I think it'll move through during the overnight while most of you are sleeping through early on Saturday. This is the time period when the cold front itself should be located about like this, right across the Louisville area around 11 a.m. Now, as the front moves through, there could be some sun that may try to break out. Whoever gets any sunshine by midday on Saturday will see the storms reignite on the front again. And the models are indicating that's likely going to be our southern counties. We'll see that regeneration of storms, say 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So at this point, we're thinking the highest chance will be south of Louisville, and it could even be south of our viewing area, in fact, for Saturday afternoon. And then it's out of here for certain as we get into Saturday night as the dry atmosphere moves in and cool weather, beautiful weather comes in on Sunday itself. Looking at long-term temperatures, you see the dip as we head into the time frame here of Sunday, cooling things down. Another little wave passes through here on Tuesday, showers and storms. And then as we head into Wednesday, showers and storms around the area. Some that could be locally heavy rain, by the way, for Wednesday. We'll watch that threat. And then that low pressure really keeps us cool all the way through Friday. So some cool weather moving in. But then we try to warm things up briefly. And here's the big debate. And Ryan Hoke and I were kind of looking over that today and tried to see if we're going to see a bounce back upward after the 12th of September. There may be one. So if we make any changes at all to the 14-day outlook, it'd be in through here to raise the temperatures perhaps into the 80s for a few days. That's the only change I could see happening. But it won't last long because we see another chance for another wave to dip in, which would drop us down potentially into the 60s for maybe at least one day by the middle or if not the latter part of the month here. The first day of fall, I almost said spring, first day of fall is not until the 22nd, so that would actually take place while it's still summer, which is unusual to see a cool snap like that. So it's still up in the cards. That's why we do the 14-day trend, is let you know the trend we are seeing in the data. And as we all know, the 14-day changes often, so it could very well change back to more of a warm pattern. But at this point, it seems to me the main issue is going to be whether or not we have tropical activity on the eastern seaboard. When we see a tropical system, especially a hurricane off the Carolina coast, that has a tendency to pump in a lot of warm air along the east coast. That causes colder air to balance on the backside across the Great Lakes and the Plain States. And if that's the case, we could get a glancing blow of that cooler air. And That's why I think the models are going in that trend of cooler weather. It's hinting at something tropical is going to happen off the East Coast. So if we don't have that, that changes everything completely. And so that is still a possibility, as we always know in these long-term models. So that's how things are looking tonight. We'll take a look at it again tomorrow. Andy Weingarten's in tomorrow with Ryan Hoke as well. I will be back coming up on Sunday. Have a good weekend if I don't talk to you before.